Colin.
My
How are
happy
you
hour
doing?
debut.
Yeah, last minute Colin. I appreciate you jumping in. Jeff Russ not feeling well today, so I appreciate you and Swag both doing some double duty. But nice to see you there, my friend.
You as well.
We always kick off the show with kind of where we finished yesterday.
Okay.
So I threw out the question. We were talking. My family has a huge camping trip this weekend. As soon as the show's over, boom, I'm headed up north. We're going to the Puget Sound. We're going to be sitting on Hood Canal.
And I know what happens on that camping trip.
It is the big cornhole tournament.
That's right.
Which
There's a trophy and everything.
Oh, the whole thing. You and I have talked about it before. We also talked a little bit because the Ocho is on right now about really stupid games that we played.
Yep.
I got a couple texts and comments. Somebody said they made a game that they called Over the Line.
Okay.
Which was just a way to get their littlest brother to try to jump over like the stack of defenders and see if he could make it over the line. And they were just trying to hurt him, but never actually did. Very good. Dynamite drop. And then somebody else said that they invented a game called Garage Football, which was just they had a big extra roll of carpet.
Okay.
And they just bashed into each other absolutely as hard as they could.
Yep.
And again, 4 concussions, but nobody ever got seriously hurt. And I think that was the theme of yesterday.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, do you have any games like family traditions where everybody gets together and plays something, or when you were a kid, you just had something that was really, really stupid? Because ours, when we were a kid, we called it That Game Outside. That's how clever we were as boys.
Well, you mentioning that kind of garage football game, my brother and I had a version of that we just called the punt return game. And we would stand out in our front yard, and one person would punt it up in the air to the other person, and then it was the Oklahoma drill. And it was just us running at each other, slamming into each other. He's 4.5 years younger, so inevitably he would get hurt at some point, and then I'd be either in trouble or he'd be in, basically, you knew this was going to happen kind of a situation.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, so there was a lot of the punt return game, but then as far as like kind of big family games and traditions, like we don't have like an annual game with a trophy or something, but my sister-in-law did bring in a new Christmas tradition, and it's kind of like it's like a hot potato game almost, and what it starts with, and now with our extended family, significant others, kids, stuff like that. We're up to a group of like 12, 13, 14 people, something like that. And so you get packages in a small box, and you wrap them and put them in a bigger box, and a bigger box, and a bigger box. And these are moving around a circle, around a table or whatever. And you can do 2 presents, 3 presents, whatever's right for how many people you have. But every present needs with it a set of dice, 2 dice, and 2 oven mitts.
Okay.
And the person in front is rolling the dice, trying to get doubles, and for as long as they are rolling, the person behind them has oven mitts on and is trying to get to the bottom of this present. Now, as soon as the doubles are rolled, you pass the dice, you grab the oven mitts yourself, and you start tearing into the package.
We had a similar game, but everything was wrapped in a giant ball of saran wrap. And so no oven mitts required. You pass very quickly, but it ends up being like the size of like a beach ball, saran wrap. And then within the saran wrap, there are small gifts, lottery tickets and things like that.
Very similar principle.
Mini bottles of booze are throughout it. So then you'll start ripping on it, and all of a sudden, like a Crown Royal goes shooting across the room.
Yes.
And the people are diving for it. It turns into quite the mess. But same thing.
And
roll the doubles.
It's total chaos. Everybody's standing up, screaming at each other. It's a great time.
We did that for a few years, and then it just ended up being like discount car wash coupons, and everybody got really bored with what they put in there, and so it's kind of gone away. Speaking of games, I don't know if you know this, but yesterday they played an NFL-ish football game.
They sure did.
Here's my immediate response to yesterday's game. I put it on. I got home in time. I was like, cool, I can watch from the opening kick. I immediately remember that the NFL is the worst. I love it to death, so don't get me wrong, but here's how things start. And let me preface this. Years and years ago, I was talking to this guy, and he was Australian, and he's like, I try to get into American football, but it's just so hard. They're always changing the rules, mate. And I go, yeah, but it's not that hard to follow along with. It's like, oh, you miss a couple of years, it's hard to get games, and it's really hard to follow along. I love soccer. They changed the rules twice in 100 years. And I'm okay, I get that.
Sure.
Immediately what happens when I go onto the broadcast? Opening kickoff, Mike Tirico gives you, all right, let's explain the new kickoff rules. And they do it as the kickoff is underway.
Yeah.
Of course, what happens on the opening kickoff?
A fumble.
A fumble happens, and then
reviewed.
immediately goes to, and I'm just like, oh, this is this is exactly what the NFL is.
It's
So
a microcosm of us being back.
well, sure, totally. So then they go, but this is the perfect welcome back.
Yeah.
So then they go to the review, never get to the rule changes, which I was actually kind of eager to. And then every other kickoff, I forgot about it and didn't care. And they're minor rule changes, anyways. But you have to keep a tablet next to you so you can keep notes to know how football is played in 2025. And then, of course, I'm like, okay, whatever. The review's over. They finally get into the play. First play, whatever. Second play, penalty. I'm like, God, you're the worst. And you know what they do, though? They pull you back so quick. And I can't remember if it was Tirico or Collinsworth. You know what he said that just made me realize why I love football, and especially football on TV and the storytelling and all the things. He drops one of these. He goes, I got Trey Lance out here. It feels like he's been around for a long time and hasn't had a successful career, but he's younger than Tyler Shuck and Michael Penix Jr. Man. And you go, whoa.
Yeah,
and so now I'm all eager on it. And Collinsworth had no faith in Trey Lance and had ultimate faith in Kyle Allen, which was hilarious. But I did some fact checking. You know how much younger Michael Penix Jr. is than, Trey Lance is than Michael Penix Jr.?
4 years?
A day. He's literally 1 day younger.
Okay.
Hey, listen, they did their research. They've got their research teams.
They're not wrong.
No, they're not. And he's a few months younger. He's 25 years old. Tyler Shuck, 25, and will turn 26 during the season. Both Trey Lance and Michael Penix Jr. May birthdays 8th and 9th. But yeah, literally 1 day.
The wild Trey Lance stat that I saw last night was that the big knock on him coming out of college is he didn't have the reps. He basically one season of college
he played
ball,
17 games.
And
he
even
had
in
one
high
start
school,
in
I
the
think he
COVID
was like
year.
the backup until he was a senior. So he just hasn't played that much football, and everyone said that about him. He threw 20 passes last night in the preseason game. That accounted now for 5% of all the passes he has thrown in the NFL in real or preseason games. I believe it. He didn't really even play when he played.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. And then I'm watching the game, and so now I'm rooting for Trey Lance because he's proven everybody wrong. I'm rooting against Kyle Allen because who cares about Kyle Allen?
Hey, former Duck Nico Reed picked off Kyle Allen.
Yes, he did. So then Nico Reed. So now I'm like, and then we're talking about Nico Reed. So again, it's drawing me in, and Nico undrafted, and he's not getting the credit that he deserves, but everybody at camp absolutely loves him. He gets the pick, makes another deflection later in the game.
And that's why we watch preseason football.
Well, no. Do you know why you watch preseason football?
See if you cover the line?
No. Did you hear the Isaac Tesla story?
No. So they were featuring him when we were still on the air with Primetime.
That's what I thought.
We just referenced that there was a man named Isaac Tesla, but we don't know the story.
Okay, so let me give you the Isaac Tesla story, and I can give you even more context to it because this guy I absolutely love. 3rd round rookie showed up. I love Tesla. He was where did he go to college? He started his career as a high school wing T quarterback. He walked on at Hillsdale College.
Okay.
And then he went on to win the Great Midwest Offensive Player of the Year before he went to Arkansas.
Okay.
So he plays wide receiver. He's no longer a quarterback. He moves over there. He ends up having a great combine, 4.4.
Because I don't remember him at all at Arkansas.
4.43 40. Ends up having like top tier athleticism. So now it kind of goes from there. In his entire time between Hillsdale College and Arkansas, he dropped 2 passes in 5 seasons. So he's sure-handed. His athleticism is way better than everybody expected. He had a nickname as the military man growing up because he was just so disciplined.
Okay.
But he also, the reason they were featuring him is he grew up in Michigan and was a huge Lions fan.
Okay.
He was at the game when Megatron broke the record for receiving yards.
Okay.
He won a state championship at Ford Field.
Okay.
He graduated with a 4.0. But when he showed up to his pre-draft meetings with the Lions, he had his own pre-made jersey with his name on the back from 8th grade.
Oh, that's pretty
and
cool.
he wore that into the pre-draft
And that's
meeting.
one of those moves where if they
Yeah.
don't like you that much, that ends up seeming pretty lame, but I guess it worked for him.
Well, they did. They're like, this guy's trying way too hard.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
he told
yeah.
the story, and they're like, whoa, this is great.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
absolutely hates the Packers. So all the things that Detroit
Sure.
stands for.
That's
so,
fun.
so they gave just the jersey story, but then I did a little more research on it. So now he's my favorite player in the NFL. So I've
Wonderful.
got a new favorite
Is he going to
player.
make the roster?
Third round pick.
Okay, if he's a third round pick, then he should
probably
make,
pretty
should
sure
make
to
the
make the
roster.
roster.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he's making a case. I mean, a good game. He ended up with 2 catches, 46 yards, which led all players. And not a ton of opportunities, but yeah, he looks good so far. He's got the athleticism. Great debut for him. So
Nice.
Yeah. So I start out just going, I forgot how dumb the NFL is. And then I finish it with, I
I
love this
love
guy.
it,
He's
yeah.
my favorite.
Yeah.
The whole thing. It's absolutely stupid, but there you have it. Hey, let's go to in case you missed it. If you could drop me some music there, Mr. Buckley, that would be fantastic. All right. Also happening in the NFL Hall of Fame game was they're testing out the virtual line marker system. So who knew?
Yeah, it looks just like the tennis review system. Where,
It totally does.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, who knew you could finally upgrade from 2 retired PE teachers eyeballing a chain? So congratulations, NFL. Welcome to the 1960s.
They don't need
They're
the
gonna be great.
Sterator index card anymore.
Dude, the folded up index card is one of the funniest things I ever. In case you missed it, the Minnesota Twins traded away 40% of their roster at the MLB trade line.
Whoa, I didn't realize it was that much.
Yeah, do they think they're actually twins and can just swap out for individual copies of every single player? Could you imagine if Carlos Correa's evil twin just showed up to play shortstop?
You know, we had identical twins traded on the same day.
We did. That was the big story, was twins trading and twins trading. So that's what you get. So in case you missed it, Tom Brady felt necessary to give Scotty Scheffler advice on putting family first. Scotty, this is a quote from Tom Brady. He said, Scotty said he'd rather be a father and husband than a good golfer. And my question is, why are those mutually exclusive? Really? Tom Brady? Tom Brady dispensing work-life balance advice is like Kyler Murray advising people on film study.
The one that I saw is that Tom Brady offering life or advice on work-life balance is like learning about firework safety from Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yeah, it's like Russell Wilson offering advice on authenticity.
Precisely.
It's like Aaron Rodgers offering advice on anything. There we go. All right, that's in case you missed it. We'll move to the Daily
that one.
Buzz. That's a good one. We'll move to the Daily Buzz. We do it next. It's Happy Hour on 105.1 The Fan.
Prime Time with Isaac and Suk.
Buzz. Buzz. Buzz.
Here's your host, Luke Anderson.
All right, welcome back in. Tom Brady giving out parenting, or giving out
Work-life
advice
balance.
about work-life balance is like Philip Rivers giving advice on birth control.
Yeah, there you go. Good one.
Second. Got to stall. My computer just completely froze on me. So here I want to tell a couple final stories about trade deadline. We talked about it a lot this week because it's kind of hilarious how Major League Baseball, in the middle of their season, because they're playing every day, you end up with these really wacky kind of scenarios where you get. The other day we talked about Sir Anthony Dominguez, who gets traded in the middle of a doubleheader. And did you see the picture of the upside down 8 that they put on the back of his jersey?
I did not.
Oh, that is my favorite part of it. If you get a chance to pull that up.
A little hasty putting together the new
Well,
uni.
the clubhouse staff, I thought for sure, I went to look at his jersey to see if they got the name on there. They got it everything with the accent over
Sure.
the vowel and everything. But if you look closely, the 8 is clearly upside down because they did it in such a hurry.
Yeah.
But he goes out
happened.
and strikes out 2 of his former teammates, beans another one, then picks him off at first base. So what an inning in a quick turnaround in that. But the one that I really liked, there was 2 yesterday. Or one was a follow-up, I guess, from Wednesday. But yesterday you had Tampa Bay Rays playing against the Yankees. And you have a trade happen where Jose Cabrera is actually traded in the middle of the game, and during the 7th inning stretch walks across the field and goes into the other clubhouse.
Yeah, there was a circumstance a long time ago when I was covering the San Francisco Giants where it wasn't during a doubleheader,
Yep.
but the Giants traded for Ryan Terrio from the Cubs when they were playing.
Yeah.
And they announced the trade in the post game of like the Saturday game, and he literally just grabbed his bag from the clubhouse and he walked down the tunnel and he walked into the Giants clubhouse and met his new teammates and he suited up for the Giants the next day.
Yeah. Well, this one happened in the middle of the game. He just walked across. He said all his
Crazy.
goodbyes.
Crazy.
And then walked across during the game. Well, last year you had Danny Jansen, who had an at-bat in the same inning because he was
Yeah.
traded. And then there was a rain-out
Yep, I
makeup
remember that.
for a game that had to be done.
Yep.
But the one that I really liked was watching the Mariners, because you want to see their new lineup. Very exciting for the Seattle Mariners to go out, and now they have one of the best hitting lineups, or at least the most expected to be one of the best hitting lineups in Major League Baseball. You add Suarez, you get the power at third base. You add an arm to the bullpen. You've already got a new first baseman playing. The whole thing is great. But I don't know if you saw who was traded for Gino Suarez.
I did not.
So on Wednesday, the Mariners called up Tyler Locklear. He's a first base prospect.
Okay.
And he's in the Mariners dugout for the first time all year.
Okay.
And he is just kind of kicking around the Sacramento dugout, doesn't get any play, but he ends up being one of the trade pieces. So he goes.
Here's your new teams. See you
Well,
later.
he goes to Sacramento, checks into the hotel on the way to the game at the Athletics temporary ballpark.
Yep.
He checks out of the hotel on the way there, sets up his locker. After the game, they took down everybody's locker except his. They left everything where it was except for the Mariners gear. They took all that out, and all of his personal effects are still in the locker. They tell him he has to go back to the team hotel and check back in because now he's a member of the Diamondbacks who are
Oh
coming
my
into
God.
Sacramento
So we can leave
to
stuff
play the
there,
A's.
but you got a new reservation.
Yeah, but he did get traded to the A's, but he
Right.
stays in Sacramento because
Yeah.
the Diamondbacks happen to be traveling
Next team in town. That's
so then,
great.
Then he gets called up to the manager's office or room in the hotel
Yeah.
to meet his new team. Meantime, Gino Suarez is flying commercial with his family instead of flying with the team. He thought he might have been traded, gets on the plane. He's like, I guess I'm not being traded. Gets on the plane, is flying from Detroit to Sacramento, gets there in time where he can surprise his new teammates and old teammates by jumping on the plane and goes in there and gets to high-five his team. So he got surprised. So he's flying to Sacramento, jumped on a flight, flew back to Seattle, and then has a nice game yesterday, gets a double, scores a run. They end up shutting out Texas, who they needed to, 6-0. Cole Young kind of stole his thunder a little bit on the
Phew.
welcome back. The one guy in the lineup where you're not looking at it going, all right, you've got OPS plus,
Yeah.
20 points or better on everybody on the roster. And then you've got rookie Cole Young, and he just mashes a 400. They said 470, but they ended up adjusting it back to
Okay.
only 456.
Okay.
So he barely hit a monster shot, I guess.
Barely.
Anyways, all right. So we move on from the trade deadline stories that I found hilarious to football, you've got Micah Parsons, who is apparently looking for a total divorce
Yeah.
from the Cowboys. This is not a request for a trade. He wants nothing to do with the team.
And you wouldn't either after listening to Jerry Jones blather on the last couple weeks. Like,
It's-
the stuff he's been saying is so stupid. He said,
Thank you.
He's like, something could happen where they get injured. I mean, you could get injured, walking across the street and get hit by a car. And
Yep.
like, he's sitting out of training camp. These are not the same things.
No,
and
it's
then
definitely not.
the thing he said, I think it was earlier this week, that was maybe the dumbest thing he said yet was, well, if he wants to get paid, he needs to show us that he wants to get paid.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing by not playing.
And what has he been doing when he was playing? Oh, being one of the best
Playing
defensive
well.
players in football. Yeah.
Yes.
So yes, very, very stupid by Jerry Jones.
And all
what
these
makes
owners
what
that-
makes me happy though is that there's been a big movement in the NBA especially, where you've had this player empowerment where they can go and they can kind of dictate what's going on. The NBA has since made some corrections and they've changed the pay structure so that it can be adjusted. The other day, Rob Manfred goes into the Philadelphia Phillies dugout
Yeah, he
and
does.
he was trying to broach the subject. I'm guessing he did not do a very good job
No.
of reading the room
No.
or being subtle in any way,
No.
because Bryce Harper walked up, told him to get the F out of the clubhouse, which is fantastic. This feels like the NFL taking a step in that direction, going, we're not going to put up with these idiotic owners who are getting more and more senile and feel like they can go out and say absolutely anything that they want. So I hope that this ends well for Micah Parsons.
But as you mentioned, this isn't just I'd like a trade. Like,
This-
his social media post reads, "Thank you, Dallas," as
Yep.
in I am done here.
Yep.
This isn't like a make it right with my new deal. I'm done here.
But the trouble is, the last time we saw something like this, Le'Veon Bell, he ended up sitting out for an entire year. When he came back, he was not the same player that he was, so it didn't work out. Micah Parsons is, I think, a little bit younger, more explosive of an athlete.
And I think there's much more emphasis on having a game-changing pass rusher.
I don't
than
think
that
there's any
running back.
question about that for sure. Also worth noting that Terry McLaurin is asking for a trade out of Washington. And this is another thing that's interesting because Washington is a team that popped last year and is looking to have a repeat performance of what they had last year. You've already heard our friend Jaden Daniels come out and say that it's night and day going into his second camp versus his first, which, duh. Wait till you get out there and people have more tape on you and they can game
Sure.
plan for what you have. You had a great season last year, but there is such thing as a sophomore slump. We saw it with C.J. Stroud and many others over the course of the NFL history. But when you can't figure out how to get your weapons back into an offense that is, still led by a very young quarterback, I think that can be a real problem.
Big
So
time, yeah.
I hope this works out. I'm always rooting for players in these situations. As
The
much.
owners have so much money.
Yes, they do, and it's
It always
good
makes
for
me-
fans when the players can go out.
Yeah,
and
and
get
it
what
always
they
makes me chuckle when people accuse the player of being selfish because they're
Yeah.
like they want to just side with the team. Like, oh, he's just being greedy. The one being greedy is the one not opening in the purse strings.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and there is a market norm,
Sure.
and you can go and see what T.J. Watt got paid this year, and if you don't think that's a fair amount, talk to the Steelers.
Well, and the other
but
thing
I'll
is-
tell you, if you've been watching Steelers football, when T.J. Watt is on the field, it is a different game. His numbers are ridiculous, and he's getting paid for it. But he's getting paid that much money because that's how much the NFL earns.
Well, and the Jerry Jones and the Paul Browns and or not Paul Brown,
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown, son of Paul Brown,
Yep.
and like the Haslams
Cincinnati,
of the
yep.
world,
Yep.
like the longer you wait to pay these guys, the more the price goes up too. And they seem to forget that because they're like, I need to be cheap right now. It's just going to cost you more later, dude.
Two quick things I wanted to shout out. If you ever wanted to go to an all-star game, 2027 might be your year for baseball. Next year it's in Philadelphia. Wrigley Field in 2027 was announced today. So that could be a very fun way to spend the Midsummer Classic. But I can't imagine it would be cheap to get in there.
Nope.
But Chicago is a great city. I have been to a White Sox game. I've been to a Bears game. I've never been because we've kind of planned the trips to Chicago not necessarily around the games. But I've not been to Wrigley yet. I've been to Wrigleyville. and it sounds like an absolute blast.
That is the only Chicago venue that I have been to.
Yeah, most people, if you're going to go for a sporting event, you would probably think that most people would go Cubs.
My brother spent a summer
yeah.
working for Miller Coors,
Oh,
and
nice.
they're based there. And so my dad and I planned a long weekend trip out to go see him while he was living and working there, and we did it around a Cubs series.
Well,
So
there you go.
that's how we ended up doing it.
All right, and one other thing, they got the U.S. Track and Field Championships going on in Eugene. I don't know if you saw, but Trey Knight has qualified for the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo. He is from Ridgefield, Washington. So congratulations to Trey Knight and family. He is a record holder for the longest hammer throw in high school history, and he's going up against the guy that record that he broke. So he broke that record in 2020.
Oh, that's cool.
And he's going head to head against a fellow American
May
who
the
set
strongest
the
man win.
record in 2013. But we'll be rooting for you, Trey Knight from Ridgefield. But right now, let's go over to the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. And Buck, tell me what we missed.
First, I must share with you that this update brought to you by Reynolds Defense Firm. If you've been arrested for DUI, you need a team of attorneys that you put trust into. Call Reynolds Defense Firm today, online at reynoldsdefensefirm.com. Something we may have missed. ESPN and the NFL Network have agreed to a $1 billion blockbuster deal that will move a number of key NFL media properties onto the worldwide leader, including the Red Zone. So
Red Zone on ESPN.
So everyone is already hemming and hawing. Don't change a thing. Let Scott Hansen do what he does. People are freaked out about seeing the Stephen A's and the Pat McAfee's of the world pop up in your quad box.
People are terrified by all of these changes. If I had a guess, and I don't have any inside information on any of this stuff, wouldn't you think that we're going to get probably more alternative broadcasts? Doesn't that feel like the way the world is going for these things?
Potentially.
The Manning casts and the different angles and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, you're going to get, I would imagine, a lot of the
Choose your
NFL
Red
film
Zone.
stuff too, but just leave the Red Zone like it is and just broadcast.
Are you a Red Zone guy? Yeah,
love
I never have been. I'm like, I'm gonna watch my.
When my
I
team
watch
is
my
on,
I watch my Seahawks game and
well,
then I watch
can't
the
always do
primetime
that
games.
as a 49ers fan up here. You don't always
totally.
get those games. I don't do the Sunday ticket thing, and
Yeah.
so Red Zone, if my team is not on, is a great way to essentially catch the most important parts of the game.
All right. Well, before we leave the sports desk, let you know we're going to talk to Josh Blue, comedian, Last Comic Standing winner. We'll do that next, but I'll let you tag out your sports update here, my friend.
And more sports scores and stories in 60 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley at the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now Window Nation.
about your comedy before we get into talking sports.
Oh yeah, I mean, just come see it. That's all I gotta say. I mean, there's tons of stuff. You can check it out on YouTube. My new special's out called Freak Accident, and then I got a bunch on Amazon Prime, and my book just came out. I got
Yeah.
a lot of things in the works. So,
Well, very cool.
And if your listeners don't know who I am, I do have cerebral palsy. I like to get that out of the way early in the interview. Otherwise, your listeners are like, "This dude is wasted," and I'm just a little buzzed.
Okay, perfect.
yeah.
Well, yeah, that's good. Good to have that as a point of reference always. So the show tonight and tomorrow night at Helium. You've played that club before?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, it's a great room.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Well, fantastic.
spot.
So if you've never been to Helium, if you've never seen Josh, it's definitely something worth the experience. I've seen a lot of your comedy on video, but I've never seen it in person.
Yeah,
so
the
I'm,
live show is the real one you want to catch for
What-
sure.
And that's the thing with comedy, right? Like
Right.
it's one thing to see it on TV, but being there and being present, it just makes all the difference in the world.
Right,
At least
it's
in my
still
opinion.
funny on TV, but when you're in the live room and you're feeling the energy, it's like a unique experience.
Yeah.
for
How,
sure.
how different does one show go from one to the next for you? Because you've been doing this. You started when you were in college back in late '90s,
Yep. I graduated 2001. so-
2001. Evergreen State
yeah, I went
College.
to Evergreen, so I'm a hippy dippy gooey duck.
Let's go.
Yeah. So I love it up here in the Northwest. It's beautiful. But as far as the show goes, I never write anything down, so I'll say like, every show's different.
Yeah.
I like to play off the audience. So if something happens, I go with it. I don't ever try to force feed you material. I just go with the moment. So,
Very cool.
yeah.
Very cool. And it's material from across your entire career that you have to go from. And then how much ad-libbing do you find yourself doing in the moment?
I'd say like at least a quarter of the show is just off the cuff, reacting to whatever's happening in the room,
That's great.
which is I think it makes it more engaging just because you're seeing. Like I said, I'm not force feeding
Yeah.
jokes. I'm funny in the moment.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get comfortable with that style of performance where you didn't feel like you had to be super prepared and ready to go?
Well, unfortunately for me, I've never been prepared. So, I've been thinking lately, if I ever put any effort into this, I might be really good.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic. We're talking with Josh Blue, comedian. He's going to be at Helium Comedy Club. You did a show last night. You're doing
Yeah.
another show tonight and one more tomorrow night.
2 more tomorrow. Yeah.
Two more tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So last night was killer.
Good.
Great room, great set. Yeah. Fun night.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited to be here.
Do you get excited when you see Portland on your schedule? I've heard that this is one of the better comedy cities, but I don't travel nearly as much as you
Yeah, no, for sure. The audiences get it, which
Yeah.
that sounds silly, but there's some places you go and they are dumb as hell. So it's a smart town.
do. Yeah. All right. Well, we don't need to point out the dumb towns. We'll just
Right.
take the compliment and run with
Yeah.
it. So we're a sports show,
Yeah.
and I wanted to check in advance. I found out that you were a Minnesota Vikings fan. You grew up in
Yeah.
St. Paul.
Yeah, don't hold that against me, please. I know it's a dismal task.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, somebody's got to do it, and
know.
I appreciate your bravery. It's one thing to go and do stand-up comedy with cerebral palsy. It's a whole nother thing to be a Vikings
Yeah,
fan,
that's
I imagine.
way worse a lot in life for sure. I don't know why I still am. It's disappointing every time. We know they'll probably make it to the playoffs,
Okay.
but then they'll lose
Sure.
right away, like they always do.
Well, there's two things. I'm a Seahawks fan. There's two
Uh-huh.
things that we've done in history. The first one, we know how it worked out. We played against the Vikings in a playoff game, and Blair Walsh missed a kick. Remember that frozen game?
Yeah.
And he misses a kick. It was like 3-3, and he
Right.
misses it. Seahawks go on. They win the game. They cut Blair Walsh. The Seahawks sign him the next year, and he's terrible.
Yeah.
So last year, the Vikings have a great season until it gets to the end. Sam Darnold falls flat on his face. The Seahawks go out and sign him to
Yep.
be their starting quarterback this
Well,
year.
congrats.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Is
Well-
it good riddance for a Vikings fan to see Sam
no.
Darnold leave?
Well, it's funny because I live in Denver now, and we took
Yeah, you
You're
did.
dud.
Yeah, no kidding.
And that was a disaster.
Yeah. Well, at least that dude won a Super Bowl. Like, who
Yeah.
knows what's going on in Russell Wilson said. He's insane. But
Yeah.
at least he won a Super Bowl, was good. Sam Darnold has never won anything.
Right.
He's most famous for saying that he saw ghosts when he was in New York. And then, and then he goes to Minnesota and just falls down flat, and we take him.
That's a TBI there, a traumatic brain injury.
Yeah.
That's seeing ghosts.
Yeah, not an ideal situation. Do you have any optimism for this year? J.J. McCarthy, he won a national championship last time he played quarterback, injured all of last year. We have no idea how good he's going to be.
Yeah, I'll just say no. I don't have any hopes at all. As a Vikings fan, I do know that they're just going to lose.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we put ourselves through this.
Yeah,
It's painful. I do live in Denver now. I like the Broncos, but I'm a Nuggets fan and
Okay.
Avalanche.
Oh,
fan.
I'll tell you, the Nuggets have to be a ton of fun to watch. I was
That
just going to
is-
see what other teams you follow, but man,
Yeah.
watching Jokic play,
It's unreal, dude. That
Yeah.
guy is. What an anomaly of a person. He just looks like he doesn't want to be there. It looks like he can't play basketball or even walk, but
yeah,
he just effortlessly takes it to the hole, man.
yeah.
Oh, here, whoops.
Well, and did you see the comparison in the reactions the other day? He has a horse that was running a what do they call it? One of the wagon races. I can't remember what the hell they call it. The chariot races or whatever. His horse wins. A harness race. That's what it was. He starts crying. He's
Right.
so excited about his horse.
Yeah.
Then they showed that next to his reaction when he won the NBA championship, and he just goes, "Man,
Can I go home now?
can I go back to my horses?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just picture him riding a horse, but his feet are still dragged
Yeah.
on the ground.
For all of us people that are not beautiful, athletic builds, watching a guy like that is inspirational. At least it is
Yeah.
for me. You feel the same way?
Yeah, for sure, man. That guy, again, just doesn't look like he should be doing that.
No, it's great. Well, you are an athlete yourself, right?
Well, I
Did-
was.
Yeah.
I mean, many years ago, I was on the U.S. Paralympic soccer team.
How was that experience? That's got to be
Amazing.
pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I've been to 8 countries representing the U.S. playing soccer. Pretty cool experience. I
Yeah.
was in the 04 Paralympics in Greece. And,
Yeah.
I'll just say soccer is not what we're known for in America.
Yeah.
So I was doing the best.
Yeah, well,
the best we could.
if
but-
you're going to go to one Olympics, Greece.
Yeah, the birthplace.
Yeah, was
that
how
pretty cool. Amazing experience.
Yeah, and how were the crowds?
Yeah, good turnouts. They showed up to see us lose. Yeah.
Nice. Did I read that you had one goal?
Yeah.
Hey?
In the whole Olympics.
It's more than I got.
I mean, I've scored. I think I have 15 goals in international play, but 1 goal in the Olympics.
dude, that's pretty outstanding. I once won a championship in girls fast pitch softball, so I
Oh,
think
congrats,
I think your Olympic goal is better than that. You didn't get Olympic gold, but an
No.
Olympic goal is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, it was cool. What an awesome experience, and just Paralympics. I didn't even find that till later in my life. I didn't even know it was a thing, and
Yeah.
I was so bummed because I could have been playing sooner. But
Yeah.
8 years is a pretty good run as an Olympian.
Dude, I'll tell you what, that's outstanding for any athletic achievement to get an 8-year run at something is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And now I can barely jog anything, as sports are far behind me.
Yeah, well, I had the same experience. I realized every time I left the house to play sports, my wife goes, "Don't get hurt."
Yeah,
And I
that's
was
it,
like,
exactly.
"Oh, well, okay, that's
I
probably."
raced my 15-year-old daughter the other day, and I pulled my groin so bad, and she smoked me. It was like, I was like, okay, I'm done.
A friend of a friend talked me into trying to play some football with him, and I kind of went to the ground and braced my hand on
Oh,
it.
God.
My thumb got a little jammed, hurt for a year,
A year, yep.
a full year, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
I'm
I
at the
can't-
point where I get injured in bed, you know what I mean? Like, all right.
Yeah, pulled a hamstring getting off the
Yeah,
toilet the other day. I'm like,
exactly.
"Oh, that's not
Yeah.
not an ideal situation." So.
Exactly.
Well, tell me about your book, because this is probably something that is an accumulation of everything that you've done. A
Yeah.
memoir looking back.
Yeah.
The book's out now.
It is out now. You can get it on Amazon. You can also get it on my website, but please don't order it there because I have to mail it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was ill prepared for this.
So what's the best place to order
Just
it?
get it on Amazon. You'll get it in a timely fashion.
Fantastic.
If I have to mail it, you will get it maybe next summer.
Okay.
No, the book's, I mean, it's amazing. It took me 20 years to write it.
Okay, so you were kind of
Yeah.
notes from the entire experience of doing
Right.
this
and
comedy
it only
thing.
goes up to winning Last Comic Standing, so it doesn't even have any of my comedy career. It just has the life experiences leading up to winning Last Comic Standing.
All right, that was interview that we recorded earlier with Josh Blue. He's going to be at Helium Comedy Club tonight. So if you want to go and check him out, still tickets available. Go to heliumcomedy.com. We've captured the entire interview. There's probably another 10 minutes or so of that conversation. If you want to listen to it, we'll put it out as a podcast. But right now, we need to get to one more for the road. So we'll do it next. It is Happy Hour on 105.1 The Fan.
Seahawks.
Relax, hot shots.
Welcome back to the Fan Happy Hour. We're about to wrap things up.
Maybe you guys like what I have so far?
Wicked woman, cool creams and mistress. You got a cool spell on me.
Let's grab one more for the road.
Come on, everybody. Everything's smooth.
Here's Luke Anderson.
All right, welcome back. I was watching the Hall of Fame game last night. Have you seen the NFL Hall of Fame class? Did you get to hear any of those interviews, or were they all done by the time you got
No,
out
I
of
saw
here?
some of the players. I saw Jared Allen. I mean,
Jared Allen, great.
Some of them I saw on mute because, again, we were on the show.
Sure,
but
yeah.
I think I saw most of the guys cycle through.
So you got Eric Allen, Jared Allen, no relation.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio Gates, greatest tight end of all time. Sterling Sharp, pretty good class.
Yeah.
So then I started thinking, how does that compare? Which is better, your Hall of Fame football class or Ichiro, CC Sabathia, Billy Wagner? Dick Allen is going up my list. I did not watch him play, but every time somebody that did starts talking about him. But then I was like, well, who else was going into the other Hall of Fames? And Carmelo Anthony leads the Basketball Hall of Fame, which is
So far, you've got me on baseball.
It's not the NBA Hall of Fame.
I mean, this NFL class is really good. You have an all-time tight end and sack leader, but
Well, and a guy that
baseball
didn't
class you mentioned
didn't play college football at all
Yep.
in Antonio Gates,
Yep.
and a guy that played in Japan in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you lean that way because you're more of a baseball fan, because I know you grew up playing baseball.
I just
but
think that like Ichiro, to
Yeah.
me, Ichiro is the 1A star of any of the All-Star classes this year.
Antonio Gates, something pretty special. But
There is, but
I'll-
it's like
I'll take your
as,
argument, but I got-
as a tight end, whereas Ichiro, you could just say is
Totally.
any offensive player,
Yeah,
like
but
as good as anybody.
and there are no quarterbacks in this class, which I
Right.
think might diminish the NFL class. I'm going
Right.
to give you one more Hall of Fame class, and you
Okay.
tell me how this compares. In the performer category, in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the inductions were Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Cyndi Lauper. Here's where it gets really good. Outkast, Soundgarden, White Stripes.
Ooh,
Musical Influencer Award went to Salt and Pepper and Warren Zevon.
okay.
So it really headlined Outkast, Soundgarden, White Stripes versus Ichiro, CC Sabathia, and Billy Wagner versus Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, Sterling Sharp.
Ooh,
That's, I mean, if I had to pick the top three in all of those, I think that makes it a little bit more challenging.
It does.
503 2GO fan, TOGOFAN.
I still have to go with the baseball, mostly because I think Ichiro buoys that up so much. But
Yeah.
that's a tough call.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have to weigh out all three of them, because Ichiro, greatness, no question about it. First Japanese player
Well,
in
CC
there.
seemed like he had so much staying power. He just
He did, and great locker room guy,
Yep,
and the
yep.
way that he was public about his trials and tribulations with alcoholism.
Mm-hmm.
All he got. Billy Wagner broke his arm, so he decided to throw his left hand. Becomes the
Yeah, I
hardest
forgot
throwing
about that.
lefty ever. Like, I mean, not ever, but he had the most strikeouts per 9 innings and all the records that he set. But yeah, he was 6 and 7 years old, broke his arm twice.
Mm-hmm.
And so he just went out in the yard and just chucked it with his left hand
This'll
as
work.
far as he could and makes it. So that's pretty great. Jared Allen, though,
Incredible.
one of the funnier dudes ever. You have Antonio Gates, never plays college football. Sterling Sharp only played 7 years, but he becomes the first set of brothers, which – listen, I'm not defending Shannon Sharp, but he asked ESPN, he's like, can you just wait until my brother gets inducted in the Hall of Fame like this weekend before you tell everybody I'm a scumbag and
I
fired?
didn't really think about the timing of all that. No,
Yeah,
great.
but that was the
Yeah.
request that he had. He goes, you can say whatever you want about me. I get it that I'm fired, but I don't want the conversation about my brother's induction into the Hall of Fame to be about me.
Yeah.
So that was pretty scuzzy.
Yeah.
I thought in the ESPN part, but ESPN has proven that they don't really care about people
No.
very much over
What
the
will
years.
people click on and watch?
Yeah. Out of the three that I've highlighted, I mean, you can, if you love Bad Company or Joe Cocker more, but Outkast, Soundgarden, White Stripes, do you have a preference?
I'll go Outcast.
I thought you might be
Yeah.
an Outkast guy. But
And
that's-
I mean, White Stripes really, really good. Soundgarden, not a blind spot for me, but it just wasn't. They were a little pre my time really getting into music, so I would say Outcast or White Stripes.
Yeah, well, Chris Cornell, just by himself, is one of the all-times for me. But I grew up right in the heart of Soundgarden, so and Super Unknown still one of my favorite albums. If I need to throw something on, but I'll give you Outkast too, fantastic. White Stripes probably my favorite on that list. Send yours in. If we don't get to them today, we'll talk about them on Monday. Thank you, Buck, for filling in last minute.
You got it.
Thank you to Josh Blue for joining in, Jake Suchman for helping record that interview. Thank you all for listening, and always thank you to Isaac Ropp. No reason necessary. We're done for now. Bye-bye.